Cheese is your secret superpower after 60. They told you to give up cheese after 60. Too salty, too fatty, too risky. So you stopped. And slowly, so did your strength. But what if that forbidden food is actually the very thing your body's been begging for? In the next few minutes, you'll discover 3 simple cheeses hiding in plain sight, with the power to restore what age tried to take. But listen carefully. Miss one of them, and you might miss your chance to stand tall again. Stay with me to the end. This isn't about diet. This is about your strength, your freedom, and one bite that could change everything. Her name was Mary, a retired school teacher from Virginia, 68 years old, with a kind smile and a bookshelf full of old stories. But these days, even the smallest tasks, climbing a step, twisting off a jar lid, felt like she was asking her body for a favor it could no longer grant. Her doctor said she was eating enough: protein shakes, chicken breasts, multivitamins, but her arms still felt hollow. Her legs heavier every morning, her walk slower, not with age, but with a silent weight she couldn't name. She didn't feel sick, just less alive. One morning, after nearly slipping in the shower, Mary sat by her kitchen window, sunlight touching her teacup, and whispered aloud, "I just want to feel like myself again." No pills, no gyms, just herself. That same afternoon, her granddaughter was visiting and made her lunch, a small bowl of roasted vegetables, and beside it, something Mary had quietly avoided for years. She hesitated. "But cheese makes people fat," she said. Her granddaughter smiled. "Grandma, this kind, it's not about fat." That night, Mary slept through the night for the first time in weeks. No tossing, no leg cramps, just stillness and rest. Over the next few weeks, she added that same spoonful after her evening walks. Nothing intense, no weights, just movement, breath, and nourishment. And here's what surprised her most. She didn't feel stronger overnight. She felt lighter, more herself. "I don't feel like I'm fighting my body anymore," she told her doctor. "It feels like it's walking with me again." This is not just a story, it's a quiet truth. That strength after 60 doesn't come from doing more, but from doing less, but better. Mary didn't change her life. She just changed how she fed her life. And it started with one quiet, humble food. And now, it's your turn. So what were those mysterious bites that helped Mary feel strong again? Not magic, not medication, but 3 simple cheeses, quietly waiting in your kitchen. Let's meet them one by one. You don't need to be a nutritionist. You don't need to count every gram of protein. What you need is to listen to your body, to its quiet needs, and perhaps to these 3 humble cheeses, each with a different rhythm, each with a different gift. Ready? Let's begin with the one that's often ignored. 1. Parmesan, the silent switch. At first glance, Parmesan doesn't look like much. It's dry, hard, crumbly, something we sprinkle over pasta, not something we take seriously. But here's the quiet truth. Parmesan is a hidden activator. Buried inside its golden crystal texture is one of the highest natural sources of leucine, an amino acid that works like a switch for muscle building. It's what tells your body, now, build, repair, restore. And as we age, we don't just need more protein, we need more leucine. Because the older we get, the harder it is for our bodies to hear the muscle-building signal. Parmesan speaks loud and clear, a A 2021 study found that just 50 grams of real Parmesan delivered enough leucine to increase muscle protein synthesis by 38% in older adults. Let that sink in. Not supplements, not powders, just a few slices of a well-aged cheese. Bonus? It's naturally low in lactose. Perfect for seniors with sensitive digestion. No bloating, no discomfort, just nourishment. 2 tablespoons freshly grated over a warm soup or morning eggs. Best time? Within 30 minutes after morning movement, even a short walk. Choose Parmigiano Reggiano, aged 24 to 36 months, with visible white crystals. Those are proteins. Avoid pre-shredded versions with fillers or anti-caking agents. They dilute the benefit and the joy. Parmesan doesn't shout. It whispers strength, right when your body needs it most. 2. Cottage cheese, the nighttime healer. Cottage cheese often gets dismissed. It's too plain, too lumpy, too diet food. But that's a misunderstanding, because inside that soft, mild texture is casein protein, a slow-digesting, long-lasting source of strength. Imagine this. You're asleep. Your body enters repair mode. Most people, their muscles are starving, but you fed yours gently through the night. After 60, the body develops anabolic resistance, a fancy way of saying it's harder to turn food into muscle. But casein bypasses that. It releases amino acids steadily for up to 7 hours, nourishing you while you sleep. That's not just recovery. That's protection. A 2022 clinical trial gave men aged 65-75 a single cup of cottage cheese 30 minutes before bed. After 12 weeks, they gained over 2.5 lbs of lean muscle without changing their workouts. Let that sink in. No gym, no stress, just a bedtime spoonful. Eat 150-200 grams, about a cup, 30 minutes before bed. Mix with cinnamon, a few blueberries, or a spoon of honey. Choose full-fat or 2% versions, slower digestion, longer nourishment. Check protein content, at least 13 g per 100 gram. Go for low sodium if you have high blood pressure. Don't heat it. Cooking breaks the casein structure. Don't mix with sugary granola or jam. It disrupts sleep hormones. And cottage cheese doesn't just fill you. It holds you, softly, through the night. 3. Ricotta, the gentle warrior. And then there's ricotta. Soft, creamy, almost fragile in texture. But inside, it carries one of the most powerful regenerators nature can offer. Ricotta is rich in whey protein, the fast-acting cousin of casein. It floods your bloodstream quickly, delivering key amino acids and a rare peptide called lactoferrin, which helps shield muscles from stress and inflammation. This isn't just about building. It's about defending. A 2023 study showed that older adults who added 150 grams of ricotta daily gained 35% more muscle cross-section, 28% stronger leg power, 19% faster walking speed, all in just 12 weeks, without changing their routine. Half a cup after light movement, a walk, stretch, gardening. Spread on whole grain toast with olive oil. Blend into smoothies with banana and almond butter. Choose organic, full-fat, plain ricotta, soft texture. Great for seniors with dental issues, high in absorbable calcium, plus phosphorus, bone support. Ricotta doesn't just rebuild you, it reminds your body how to be whole again. A gentle recap. Cheese roll, best time bonus. Parmesan activator after morning activity, high leucine, low lactose cottage feeder before bed. Casein-rich, sleep support, ricotta defender after light movement, whey plus minerals, joint friendly. Now that you've met them, these quiet healers hiding in your fridge, you might be wondering, How exactly do they work? What's happening inside your cells, your muscles, your bones? In the next part, we'll go one step deeper into the science, made simple, and how you can turn these humble foods into daily rituals of healing. Our bodies are not machines, they are gardens, and after 60 they don't break. They simply stop absorbing what we once gave them. That truth often shocks people. You see, after 60 our muscles still want to grow, but they become harder to nurture. It's not because you're lazy, not because you aren't trying. It's because your body has changed how it listens. There's a silent shift that happens around age 60. It's called anabolic resistance, a beautiful but unfortunate term that means the same food gives you less muscle. What once worked, chicken breast, eggs, protein shakes, now feels like trying to water a garden with a teacup. Muscles begin to ignore the protein you give them. They don't reject it. They just don't hear it. Unless you give them the right signal. Let's go back to the 3 cheeses. Each of them sends a unique biological message. 1. Parmesan. Switch on. Leucine directly activates the muscle-making pathway, mTOR. Think of it as flipping the build switch. 2. Cottage cheese. Slow feed. Casein is released over hours, nourishes muscles during their most fragile time. Sleep. 3. Ricotta. Protect plus repair. Whey floods muscles with amino acids, boosts IGF-1, reduces inflammation, and protects against tissue breakdown. Together, they don't just feed your body, they teach it how to absorb again. Now here's the part most people never talk about. Your muscles are not just tissue, they are memory banks. Every staircase you climbed, every bag you carried, every hug you gave. Your muscles remember. But as we age, they lose communication with the brain. Neurons fire slower. Recovery takes longer. And without the right fuel, that connection fades. The cheeses we've shared, they do something remarkable. They restore that communication. Leucine plus casein plus whey help rebuild the neuromuscular bridge. Result: faster reflexes, better balance, sharper coordination, not magic, just chemistry, gently guided by nature. And the heart? Ah, yes, the biggest fear. But isn't cheese bad for my heart? A valid concern. But here's what the newest studies show. Aged cheeses like Parmesan contain natural peptides that may reduce blood pressure. Full-fat cottage cheese, when eaten in balance, may support insulin regulation. Ricotta is high in CLA, conjugated linoleic acid, which has been linked to reduced inflammation and better lipid profiles. It's not about avoiding fat. It's about choosing the right kinds in the right way with the right timing. Strength after 60 isn't built in a gym. It's built in your kitchen, your breath, your choices, day by gentle day. Let's recap how the cycle works. 1. You move gently, even a short walk. You nourish wisely, not just protein, but the right protein. 3. You rest deeply, allowing repair to happen overnight. 4. You repeat, not perfectly, but consistently, and over time, this quiet cycle becomes strength. Let's not forget, the most important muscle we're rebuilding here is trust. Trust in your own body, that it can still change, still respond, still rise again. Because strength is not about looking young, it's about feeling whole. So, now that we understand the how and the why, the question becomes, what does this look like in real life? Let me show you. Through stories of those who lived it. Margaret was 71. She used to teach third grade. She had a piano in the living room, a Bible on the nightstand, and a jar of jam she made every summer. But one day, she couldn't stand up from her chair without using both hands and pushing on her knees. And then one day, she couldn't open the jam jar she made. Her hands trembled, and the lid might as well have been made of steel. She laughed it off, but that night, she cried in the bathroom. Her doctor called it sarcopenia, muscle loss from age. But to Margaret, it felt like grief. Grief for the life she used to lift, hold, reach, open. She tried whey protein shakes, too sweet, too foamy. She tried pills, made her stomach upset. She joined a senior chair yoga class, too much for her knees. And then her niece, a dietitian, said one simple thing. "Auntie, what if it's not about doing more? What if it's about feeding smarter?" She gave Margaret a jar of grated Parmesan and said, "Sprinkle this twice a day. That's it." Morning, on scrambled eggs. Evening, on lentil soup. After 10 days, Margaret said she didn't feel different, but on day 14 she stood up without pushing on her knees. It scared her. She tried it again. And then she smiled, a soft smile, the kind only a woman who's walked through grief and come back can make. I didn't know strength could return without fighting for it. David was 76. Vietnam vet, strong hands, quiet eyes, hadn't slept through the night in 6 years. Every night I wake up at 2 a.m., legs aching, mind racing, and I sit until dawn. He'd tried melatonin, meditation, magnesium. Nothing stayed. His granddaughter, who was studying sleep science, told him, "It's not your brain keeping you awake, Grandpa. It's your muscles screaming for help." She suggested cottage cheese before bed. Half a cup, full fat, no sugar, just protein and peace. Night 1, same result. Night 2, he slept until 3 a.m. Night 4, he woke up at 6:15 a.m. "I thought I died," he joked. But something else changed. His legs stopped twitching, his hands steadied, and by week 3, he started walking outside without his cane. You just never had the right tools. Ellen was 68. Her husband had passed 2 years ago. Since then, her appetite had faded. So had her energy. She lived alone in Oregon, by the coast. She used to walk the cliffs every morning, but now she barely left the porch. She didn't feel pain, she felt invisible. And that, in some ways, was more dangerous than illness. Her neighbor, also a widow, brought over a warm breakfast one morning. Whole grain toast, olive oil, a soft white spread. "What is this?" Ellen asked. "Ricotta," her friend said. "Not for your taste buds, for your legs." Ellen laughed, but she ate it 3 days in a row. And on the 4th, she walked out to the street. Not far, but far enough to smell the ocean again. By the 3rd week, she was joining her neighbor on walks. By week 6, she signed up for a gentle Tai Chi class. Ricotta didn't just feed her muscles, it fed her will to move, to belong, to become someone new after loss. These stories aren't dramatic. No miracles, no surgeries, just tiny changes. But here's what's dangerous: the belief that nothing can change. The belief that weakness is just normal. The belief that losing yourself is part of growing old. It's not. And it never has to be. So now that we've seen the stories, what about you? What would happen if you just tried, quietly, gently, for 30 days? What could change? In the next part, we'll guide you step by step. A simple plan. a rhythm, a way home to your strength. Let's close this together. If you've come this far, it means you're ready. Ready to stop drifting. Ready to stop asking, is this just aging? Ready to reclaim something that quietly slipped away. And it's not about changing everything. It's about changing 1 month. 30 quiet, healing days. Because if you don't, the risk isn't just weakness, it's the disappearance of strength. Slow, silent, and dangerous. Let's not let that happen. Week 1, wake the muscle focus. Wake up sleeping muscle signals. Cheese, Parmesan, time of day, morning plus. Evening meals, amount 2 to 3 tablespoons daily, 30 gram. How? Morning, sprinkle over scrambled eggs, oats, or veggie bowls. Evening, add to soups or roasted veggies. Why? Parmesan's leucine acts like a light switch. It doesn't feed your muscles. It tells them to wake up. Key reminder: choose real Parmigiano Reggiano. Avoid pre-shredded mixes. This week is not about feeling stronger. It's about telling your body, I'm here. I haven't given up. Week 2, feed through the night. Compagnie prevent muscle breakdown during sleep. Cheese, cottage cheese, time of day. 30 minutes before bed. Amount 1/2 to 1 cup, 150-200 gram. How? Mix with cinnamon plus blueberries, or just a spoonful, plain and simple. Why? Cottage cheese contains casein, a slow-release protein. It acts like a drip force for your muscles while you sleep. Bonus: many users report better sleep quality within days. Let this part be soft. Let it be quiet, like tucking your muscles in for the night. Week 3, repair plus rebuild. Focus, deep muscle protection, plus growth. Cheese, ricotta, time of day. After movement, walks, gardening, light chores. Amount: 1 to 2 cup, 125 g. How? Spread on whole grain toast. Stir into smoothies. Blend into scrambled eggs. Why? Ricotta is rich in whey protein, BCAAs, and lactoferrin. Supports regeneration. Boosts IGF-1, the youth hormone for muscles. Combats inflammation. Warning: don't pair with sugary desserts. Eat clean, simple, real. Week 3 is when most people feel the shift. Steps feel lighter. Sleep feels deeper. Confidence returns. Week 4, put it together. Focus, habit layering plus emotional strength. All 3 cheeses used. Pattern, Parmesan, morning, dinner, cottage, before bed, ricotta, after movement. Why? Now your body is no longer confused. It has rhythm, pattern, and muscles love pattern. This week is where results become routines. Tip: journal your energy, sleep, and mood each day. You'll see it. This is not about food anymore. This is about self-respect, about showing up for your own strength. Let's be honest. Every year after 60, we lose 1 to 2% of muscle mass if we don't act. Not because we're old, but because our cells go unfed. And that loss is quiet. You won't see it in the mirror. You'll feel it when you hesitate at stairs. You stop walking to the mailbox. You avoid dancing, lifting, playing, hugging. Strength fades until it becomes fear. But that's not your future. You are not broken. You are underfed. And food is not just fuel. It's forgiveness. Every bite is a chance to begin again. If this video meant something to you, please share it with someone who may be slipping silently. A parent, a friend, a neighbor who's shrinking and smiling to hide it. Because strength isn't loud, but weakness, left alone, is. For more healing food wisdom, soft science, and true stories, every week we publish calm, trustworthy guidance. Not hype, just help.